Mina Aizatus Masise and the Sierra Network Day at the Sierra Leone Police Headquarters concerning the press conference where the Sierra Leone Police call.
In our midst, we have, let me introduce my deputy in the first place. We have the Deputy Head of Media and Public Relations, normally called Media 2, Samet Saru Conte, ASP.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so just remember you.
And then we also have Inspector Usman Karim Bangua, who is the media officer for Freetown West.
Good afternoon.
And then we have a familiar face, very familiar. He's been coming here and he will continue to be here. He's the Operations Officer, Criminal Investigations Department. He's Superintendent Mohammed K. Ali.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
And of course, we have the head of communications in the Sierra Leone Police, a very fine gentleman, like the others I've already mentioned. He's Superintendent Sheikh Baja.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah.
And of course, we have my very self, Superintendent Ghana Kaman, Head of Media and Public Relations. And for today's program, we're going to have the chair in the person of the Director of Gender and Community Affairs, Gender, Hospitality and Community Affairs. He is also a familiar face. Even when we had Mr. Kaidas say he was always come. He's used to the press and he's always been addressing the press. And he's here again today to talk to members of the 4th Estate. So let me introduce our chairman for today's press briefing, today's presser, in the person of AIG. When we say AIG in police, we're talking about Assistant Inspector General. In other words, he's assisting the IG. So it's a very big office, very big task. They provide back to calling police in strategic direction. That's their job. They are not the tactical people. The tactical people are there. So they provide strategic direction. They tell you what to do wherever you are. And they tell you this is how it should be done. And then you expect the tactical people to do the job. And so you are welcome, sir.
Thank you.
It's your meeting, and maybe we just observe a minute of silence.
Prayer, individual silent prayers, please.
Silent prayers, and then we can move on. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Amen. Amen. Yeah, Alaji, you're welcome. There is a seat. Yeah, you can come in. Once again, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I'm used to being with you, and I always feel happy when I'm with you. When I'm in your midst, I feel very, very happy. Yeah, because I know normally you call the media when there is something you want to educate the community with, when there is something you want to entertain, when there is something you want to get people informed about, you call the media. Well, people normally say that's a 4th Estate, of course. I do believe in that as well. And you are so important, very, very significant when it comes to a matter of working with members of the community and viewing the kind of policing we are now practicing as community policing. I wonder how you can appreciate us properly, you know, if we feel in that responsibility of working with members of the community, because it's built on one philosophy, that is working with members of the community. There is no way you can succeed really in policing properly, especially within a democratic dispensation, without working in partnership with members of the community. You know, so I'm very, very much happy at least to be in your midst this afternoon. I'm not going to keep you longer than it will be necessary. So I will go straight off to the items on the agenda here, or some of the things I think we'll talk about. We are all aware of the upcoming elections at constituency 110, very, very sensitive. and we've had 2 instances, well, should I say, of failure, at least to make sure that service is delivered. Now, I'm sure it's going to be something different, and this time we are going in for success to make sure that we get the expected outcome. We are going to police it before, and even as I'm talking to you, that policing is ongoing, and we are going to police it again on that day and the day after to make sure there is safety and security for all participants, voters, administrators, that is those who may be, carrying the responsibility of taking materials here and there, making sure that at least those elements are achieved, successfully as it is. So this afternoon we are going to get some information about that election for you to know how far we've gone in terms of policing it. We have a responsibility to provide safety and security for every individual, irrespective of party you belong or religion you are professing, tribe, etc., etc. It is for everybody. So in that note, or on that note rather, we will have the media, the head of media, because he has been handling that responsibility. Make sure that at least the areas are visited, for him at least to come and give us an update on how far or what the situation is as it is now. So on that note, media.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, today of course, we are all aware of the fact that coming Saturday, the 5th, we're going to have headmanship elections around the peninsula, about 3 or 4 of them. And then next week, Saturday, we're going to have the constituency 110 elections. Like he alluded, the last one didn't come out very well. And so we are now putting measures in place to make sure that the next one, the one coming on the 12th, is one orderly. And so today there was a stakeholders meeting, and that stakeholders meeting was held around Waterloo, going closer to Waterloo, a place called Whitestone. And so many players were there. The security sector, we were all present. From the side of awareness, CISU, and then key stakeholders within the community were all present to grace the occasion. And even the aspirants for all the headmanship election as well as the one for constituency 110, they were present except for the one for the All People's Congress, but she was ably represented. And they were all given time to make 5 minutes each. And they spoke their mind. And basically what they said was, we are hoping. And then they assured us that the election was going to be very peaceful. And we accepted that one simply because, let's consider the situation. The last time we had the constituency 110 elections, before the election itself, we were experiencing so many violent activities, but we didn't get that one, and then they're almost closing their campaigns, and we've not had any major incident of public disturbance. And so today, like I said, we had the PPRC, the contestant were there, the next chairperson was there, civil society, the district youth chairperson, the women's forum, bike riders, AGSLAF, Salon Police, we were all there. And then, but what the IGP said on behalf of the SLP that what we are going to do, of course, we are all aware of the fact that the SLP is responsible for the safety and security of the states. That's our job. And that's what we normally call internal security. So the safety and security of the state, we are responsible. From the outside, we talk about the military. And when we talk about internally, we talk about the police. So the IGP was able to tell the public about our do's and our don'ts. Firstly, he said we are going to deploy security personnel to all polling centers to ensure protection of both net staff and materials. That is what we're going to do on that day. And then secondly, we're going to ensure the general provision and maintenance of security for all personnel and materials during the voting process. And then 3, we're going to ensure that the queue of voters is orderly. 4, take all necessary measures to prevent violence or any activity that may threaten the safe conduct of elections. We're also going to carry out lawful instructions from the presiding officers or senior members of the commission in relation to the arrest of persons who violated the law. You see, the emphasis there is lawful instructions. If they are not lawful, they will listen but will not be effective. You know, and then 6, handle issues of conflict that are liable to pose security threat within the precinct of the centers. We're going to do that on that day as well. And we're going to act without delay in handling issues that may pose security threat and notify the command structure as appropriate. And then we'll stand at the end of the queue, if any, at 5 p.m. prompt to ensure that no person enters the queue after 5 p.m. If you are there before 5 p.m., you're going to vote. But after 5 p.m., we are not going to allow somebody to join up. So in other words, we are going to be the very last person to protect the queue. And then 9, we said we're going to work on the guiding principles of neutrality, apolitical, transparency, accountability, independence, equity, credibility, integrity, impartiality, professionalism, and dedication. And then 10, we agreed that we're going to be reasonable, proactive, committed, dedicated, and always work on sound judgment. And the main purpose there is for us to build the trust and confidence of the people. And then we said things we are not going to do. Basically, one, we are not going to take part. The Salon police officers should not take part in the administration of the election process. It's not our job. That's the job of NEC. And then we should not assist persons in the voting process. It's not our job. Equally so, we are not going to harass or intimidate any voter. We are not going to abuse our authority. We are not going to use excessive force. You understand? So basically, everything is based on making sure that we do what we are supposed to do as expected of us as police officers, and not like we go there and try to pose ourselves as if we are there to disrupt election. Our job is not to disrupt election, but to ensure that the election is peaceful, fair, and very transparent. So we're going to continue to ensure we maintain a neutral role. So, like I said, every contestant, they made a pledge that we are going to ensure that the elections are going to be very peaceful and that they will support the process throughout. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Media One. Of course, you've had it all. And I think one thing he succeeded in hammering home is the responsibility of the police officer, within a democratic structure. We have a responsibility. Under democracy, the responsibility of the police is to withhold the law, to uphold the law, to make sure the law is respected, to enforce the law. That is our responsibility. And indeed, we talk about crime when there are laws. Where there is no law, there is no crime. But in democracy, that's the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. It is the law. And everybody should be treated equally under the law. Nobody is taller than the law. We have to have respect for it. We have to have respect for each other's rights, and dignity. So he has laid down, you've had it all now. So I'm expecting you to disseminate this information to the wider majority, wherein at least people will hear them and make sure they go by them. That's the only thing that will create the kind of life we all expect. That's life of safety and security. The second item here this afternoon, we had some gifts from a very, very important organization within our communities. All by ourselves, I will continue saying this. It will always become difficult to provide that safety and security the community requires without working in partnership with members of the community. You find difficulty. I've enjoyed it for the past 20, 28, 30 years in the force. I've always enjoyed it, working with members of the community. And there is going to be a speaker that will tell you exactly what happened to us on Wednesday. Normally it's on Wednesdays that we have our own cabinet meeting, where we have all AIGs, represented. Well, physically they themselves come with the AIGs. They all come together to come and discuss issues, affecting the safety and security of the country. So on that note, I will not divulge, so much of it. I will allow the speaker himself to come and tell you, and it's in the person of Superintendent Baja.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everybody. Just like the chairperson has stated, yesterday, Wednesday, the 2nd of December, we received the team of Orange Mobile Company senior management here at the EMD. They offered to the Sierra Police about 34 mobile phones with toll-free line access. And these gifts are being offered to the police at a very timely manner, because this is a period wherein people have always been raising concerns that they could not reach the police. They could not reach the police at certain locations, even in the provinces. So at this point in time, the 34 mobile phones with toll-free lines will be used at the various police divisions in the country, wherein police and members of the public will have the opportunity to interface. In a situation wherein there is an intelligence or information for members of the public, they could as well bring it to the notice of the police, and then there will be swift response. So this gift will be distributed nationwide, and we shall be trying to ensure that we send them as quickly as possible nationwide and make the numbers available to the members of the public, so that you know exactly who to call at what time and at any time. Because we also have the National Emergency Call Center, the 112. Some of the time we receive information, and for us to pass information to the regions, it becomes an Herculean task. This has been because of the challenges that we face in terms of communications. So Orange Mobile Company intervention has been very much timely. So with this, we are all going to see a very swift response in most of the issues that will be reported to the police. And not only that, this is not the very first time Orange Mobile Company has been helping the police. They have also helped the police in the area of the communications department. You realize in the country nationwide, we have our towers, we have our repeater sites. Most of the time, they offer us co-location, wherein we have our equipment. And we have always enjoyed this synergy between us and them. So at the 112 Emergency Call Center, they also have their system there, wherein their subscribers can call from any of their network 112, which is free, and then report whatsoever you think is of police interest, and then we will immediately respond to you. They also went further to help us with internet access at the call center. The internet access at the call center will also be used to be updating the system on a daily basis. And also what they did was that because the Police Wives Association, the president of the Police Wives Association, who happens to be the wife of the Inspector General of Police, has got a flagship project. She intends ensuring that all the police barracks in the country have this borehole system, wherein community people in those places can go and then access water. So they have also intervened in ensuring that we start with Kinton. So I think they have a symbolic presentation which should be held by tomorrow in the morning. So far so good for now. This is what I will have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Before I wrap up, Mr. Chairman, I just want you to see the mobile phones, and I will appreciate. Okay, good. I just want you to see the mobile phones, and I will appreciate if I tell you go around and then everybody have a feel of them. They are 34 in number. And at the moment we have like 37 divisions in the country. But we are going to ensure that we distribute to 34. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So we are going to distribute 34 to 34 divisions nationwide. And in the future, we believe that they will also help us with the remaining 3. But this is a good start. And we actually want to thank them for this. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Superintendent Baja. This is what we look out for, you know. We rub skin, or as is normally said in our local parlance, rub skin at least. Then at least we'll have each other helping each other as it is. And on this particular lane, I would want to say thanks again to Orange for this wonderful gift as it is. And we assure them that we are going to make use of them for the purpose for which they were offered. We assure you, as members of the 4th Estate, that this is a nice something. This will help us greatly in our policing system. Because for those other areas we cannot find access, the individual may call, you know, going through a free call access. Call on us and be rest assured we have a responsibility to make sure that we respond adequately. It's going to be quality service this time around. It's not just those kind of common services one will normally offer. You know, this one, I assure you, we will make sure. Now that at least the Yuletide is just around the corner, people will be traveling, coming in at least to come and see what is happening in our country. We also would want them to go with fond memories of the kind of style of policing we provide during their time of enjoyment, etc., etc. So as it is, you also have a responsibility. Get the information to them. As I talk to you now, each of these phones do have their SIMs. The SIMs are there, you call freely. We also talk to you freely, as it is. But let's do it, let's do it responsibly, so that at least we'll succeed in at least, carrying out our tasks and responsibilities successfully at the end of the day. So thank you very much, Mr. Baja. Mr. Baja, I would advise that when are we going to start making use of these things?
We want to start the distribution process. Thank you, sir. We want to start the distribution process by tomorrow.
Okay.
And we'll be taking some to the province by tomorrow, and then also in Freetown here by the end of the day tomorrow. Most of the LUCs must have received theirs.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The other item here, ladies and gentlemen, is an update from Freetown West.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon. Security update of Freetown West. The Freetown West region, for the period under review, is very quiet, except of course for some isolated incidents. Currently, we are on preparations for the parliamentary rerun elections of constituency 110, Godrich. I want to differ a little bit from what Media One has just said. I want to take a kind of proactive approach. We are currently on community engagement through our community relations department. We have distributed the operational order as to how the elections is going to be manned based on security. We are also policing the door-to-door campaign, as this time round there are no street rallies, as those rallies could be recipe for chaos. We continue to sustain also our operations to decongest Lumley and its environs. Of course, the Botomango roundabout has been decongested, and movement of vehicles and pedestrians is now made very simple. Of course, issues of land grabbing and illegal sand mining, particularly at Godrich and Mountain Division, are now under control. Lastly, we have an abstract report of a case of an alleged sexual penetration of a child that on Sunday, 22nd November 2020, at 18:15 hours of Tarawali Drive, Malama Lumley brought in her daughter, aged 2 years. And the former reported that on behalf of the latter, that on Sunday, November 22nd, about 18:30 hours at the above address, the latter was sexually penetrated and thereby suspected, aged 26 years and aged 27 years, all of the same address. Action taken. Upon receipt of this complaint, a police medical request form was issued to complainant. Victim was taken to the Oladurin Hospital for medical examination and treatment. Later, statement was obtained from the referral. The two suspects were detained and the investigations is still on course. Thank you. I think that's all for Freetown West.
Okay.
Good afternoon all. I am Detective Superintendent MKLU, Operations Officer, CID Headquarters, Freetown. I have key cases for which I have to give update on it. That doesn't mean that there are not other cases. A day we used to get more than 20 cases a day. But for the sake of time, I have to comment on 3. One, on Thursday, 26 November 2020, that was the day the former president, Dr. Ernest Bai Kuruma, was returning to McKinney after being interviewed by ACC. Upon his arrival, a group of youths assembled at a filling station along Azolini Highway opposite St. Francis Secondary School, McKinney. Those of you who have visited McKinney. They were jubilating with the pretext of welcoming the former president back to McKinney. And in that jubilation, they were using insulting words against His Excellency, retired Brigadier Julius Mandabio. Insulting words against his mother. That I will not repeat. It is on social media. Against that background, police in McKinney arrested 2 male suspects and 1 female with clear evidence of their presence by photo in the said garden. They are now with us assisting the investigation for a case of incitement and insulting conduct. The second issue is a case of robbery with aggravation, where an OSD officer, that is Operational Support Division, OSD officer was on guard duty at a social club called Metro Milan Complex at Bumbuna. He was disarmed with his service rifle. They brought in 4 suspects. They are assisting the investigation. Yet we are tracing the whereabouts of the said rifle. I will not divulge the identity of the OSD. It's under investigation. The third one is on the 1st of December 2020, where rumor was around that the APC, that is the leading opposition party, have decided to come out in their numbers to demonstrate for the release of Paulo Conte, who is standing appeal trial in the court of Freetown. Against that background, one Haja Ashatu Conte of Baiweru Kisi was seen with a placard at Upgun Roundabout Freetown on that same 1st December 2020. On that placard, there were insightful words. At the same time, she calling on members of the public to come out in their numbers to demonstrate for alleged misuse of government power against its citizens. So she's now with us assisting the investigation. These are the key issues we are addressing presently. But apart from that, there are other concerned issues, which is of three. One, vehicle theft is on the increase. The most vulnerable vehicle is RAV4 Jeep. So you have to be mindful if you intend buying RAV4 Jeep or if you have 5.4 Jeep. They don't have sensor. They are vulnerable. And the common practices, they never take it off return. They take it to most of this garage and cannibalize it. That is, remove the spare part or remove the parts and sell it by parts. The second one is 419 issue is on the increase. If you know, 419 operatives are everywhere at all walks of life, even the police. A young youth was apprehended recently. He was apprehended in Sierra Rutai with a full Sierra Leone police uniform with the rank of inspector. He went there with a fake memo that memo was signed and approved by the Director of Human Resources. Because during the course of the investigation, he confessed that he followed the stamps and the signature of AIG. We have charged him to court. He's facing trial at the Magistrate Court number 1.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ali.
And during the press conference, we been get the head of media from the Freetown West, where he talk about the rerun constituency 110 election, waiting the police don't put in place for say the election be fully policing. And also we be get person from CID, we also can talk about some of the issues the matters where CID they investigate. Mina Aissatou Smaisise, until we meet again, I say tata.